The mountain pygmy possum is a remarkable and rare marsupial. The mountain pygmy possum has a highly specialized habitat, restricted to the alpine and subalpine regions of southeastern Australia. They are found in only 3 isolated populations across 2 states, Victoria and New South Wales. These possums are adapted to live in cold, high-altitude environments, typically found between 1,300 and 2,200 meters above sea level. They primarily inhabit the Australian Alps, including the Kosciuszko National Park in New South Wales and the Victorian Alps. Mountain pygmy possums live in specialized habitats called boulder fields or rock screes. These are areas where large, stable rocks and boulders have piled up, often at the base of slopes. The crevices between the rocks provide shelter and protection from predators and harsh weather conditions. These boulder fields also remain covered with snow for extended periods during winter, creating a natural insulation for hibernation. Surrounding these boulder fields, the vegetation consists of alpine heath, snow gums, and shrubs. These plants provide food sources like seeds and berries during the warmer months. The possums also depend on the presence of certain plants for cover and food during their active seasons. The habitat experiences extreme seasonal changes. During the warmer months, spring and summer, mountain pygmy possums are active, foraging for food. As winter approaches, they fatten up and prepare for hibernation, which takes place in their sheltered boulder homes for up to 7 months. The fragmentation of these boulder fields due to human activity, like ski resort development, poses a serious threat to the species. The possums need connected habitats to move between different areas in search of food and mates. Conservation efforts are focused on maintaining and restoring corridors that link these fragmented habitats. Mountain pygmy possums is critically endangered. Human activities, such as the development of ski resorts and infrastructure in alpine regions, have fragmented and destroyed much of the possum's natural habitat. The isolated populations now struggle to connect with one another, reducing genetic diversity and making it harder for the species to recover. The mountain pygmy possum is highly dependent on the cold, snow-covered alpine environments for hibernation and survival. As global temperatures rise, snow cover is reducing, which disrupts their hibernation cycles. Warmer winters can also alter the availability of food sources. Introduced predators, particularly feral cats and foxes, pose a significant threat to the mountain pygmy possum. These predators prey on the possums, further reducing their already dwindling numbers. The species is currently restricted to just 3 isolated populations in the wild, which are located in Kosciuszko National Park in New South Wales and the Victorian Alps. This fragmentation severely limits their ability to interbreed, leading to genetic bottlenecks that make the species more vulnerable to disease and environmental changes. Mountain pygmy possums have soft, dense fur that is typically grey-brown on their backs, which helps them blend into their rocky alpine habitat. Their underbelly, however, is usually a creamy or pale white color. This coloration provides some camouflage in the wild, as the brownish-gray fur matches the rocks and lichen of their environment, while the lighter belly might blend with the snow or lighter ground surfaces. Their ears are rounded and dark, and they have a short tail that is slightly prehensile. The contrast between their darker back and lighter belly is typical of many small mammals that need to remain hidden from predators in their environments. They are quite small, with an adult body length ranging from 10 to 12 centimeters. Their tails add another 13 to 16 centimeters in length, making them appear slightly longer overall. They are lightweight, typically weighing between 30 to 80 grams. Females are usually larger than males. They have short, dexterous limbs equipped with sharp claws, ideal for climbing over the rocky terrain in which they live. Their forepaws are strong and agile, helping them forage for food among rocks. Their tail is prehensile, meaning they can use it to grasp onto objects, which helps them maintain balance as they move around their boulder field habitats. The tail is relatively long compared to their body size and is also used for storing fat in preparation for hibernation. They have a relatively short snout with large, rounded ears and small, sharp teeth. Their eyes are big and dark, giving them good night vision for their nocturnal lifestyle. Their dense fur helps insulate them from the cold temperatures of their alpine environment, especially during the harsh winters when they hibernate. The fur is soft and thick, perfect for retaining body heat. Mountain pygmy possums have a varied diet that changes with the seasons, reflecting the availability of food in their alpine environment. They are omnivorous and rely on a mix of high-energy foods to build up fat reserves for hibernation. One of the most critical food sources for mountain pygmy possums is the bogong moth. These moths migrate to the Australian Alps in huge numbers during the summer months, providing a rich source of fat and protein. The possums rely heavily on these moths to build up fat reserves before they enter hibernation in the winter. The moths can make up more than half of their diet during the summer months. During times when insects are less abundant, mountain pygmy possums consume a variety of seeds and nuts. These provide important energy sources, especially as they prepare for hibernation. Native plants such as snow gums and alpine shrubs provide seeds that are essential for the possum's diet. In addition to insects and seeds, the possums also eat fruits and berries when they are in season. Alpine heath plants produce small fruits and berries that help supplement their diet. These are particularly important in the spring and summer when the possums are active and foraging. Besides bogong moths, mountain pygmy possums consume a variety of other insects, such as beetles, spiders, and other invertebrates, which provide them with essential nutrients like protein. In spring and summer, the diet is rich in insects, fruits, and seeds as the possums actively forage and store fat reserves. In autumn, as food sources begin to decline, they focus on eating nutrient-rich seeds and whatever insects are still available. In winter, during hibernation, they don't eat and rely entirely on the fat reserves accumulated during the warmer months to survive through the cold season. The breeding season for mountain pygmy possums occurs during the warmer months, typically from late spring to early summer, November to December. This timing aligns with the abundance of food sources like bogong moths, which provide the energy needed for both the parents and their offspring. Mating takes place after the possums emerge from hibernation in spring, as food becomes more available. Males and females meet during this time, often traveling across their rocky, fragmented habitats in search of mates. Males are more mobile than females during the breeding season, moving across greater distances. After mating, females have a short gestation period of about 14 to 16 days. Females usually give birth to a litter of 4 young, although not all offspring may survive to maturity. The young are born very underdeveloped, as is typical for marsupials. Like other marsupials, the newborns are carried in the mother's pouch for the first few weeks of life. They are tiny and underdeveloped when born, and they continue to grow in the pouch for about 4 to 5 weeks. After leaving the pouch, the young remain in the mother's nest, where she provides them with care until they are more independent. At around 6 to 8 weeks old, the young are fully furred and begin to explore their environment. By the time they are around 10 weeks old, the young are weaned off their mother's milk and become more independent. At this point, they begin foraging for food on their own. Most young possums reach sexual maturity by the next breeding season, usually around 1 year old. The separation of populations due to habitat fragmentation poses a serious challenge to breeding. Males need to travel between boulder fields to find mates, and if habitats are too isolated, the genetic diversity of the population can decrease, leading to inbreeding. As climate change alters the snow cover and food availability in their alpine environments, breeding patterns can be disrupted. If the bogong moths fail to appear in large numbers, it affects the female's ability to build up enough energy reserves to support pregnancy and lactation. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for even more viewing pleasure. Don't forget, like and comment. Feel free to share.